Hey, we got the core, Tokyo SOS, and everything beautiful is far away. Come down now, they'll say. Starting off with the core. So I actually watched this movie last of the three because spoilers. I hated the other two movies, and I was like, "Hey, let's watch something that is also garbage because this one's like historically really bad and awful and really scientifically inaccurate." And I remember watching it way back in the day and enjoying it, so I was like, "Well, let's see what happens." And like 10 minutes in, I'm like, "This movie isn't bad." It's basically disaster porn the movie, like all the other ones, or just like an Armageddon ripoff. Hits all the beats you'd expect it to hit, but like it's paced really well. It's kind of entertaining. It's silly. It's goofy. It's a little. It's not really emotional. The kind of worst parts are like seeing the special effects are just trash. They're just so bad. They did not age well at all. And then like the emotional scenes, they just don't work. But like it's entertaining. It was fun. It was a good time. The premise is they have to go to the core to restart the core because of reasons. Yeah. Okay, Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Or if you kind of read the actual title, it looks like it says Godzilla versus Mothra versus Mechagodzilla, which is what happens in the movie. So this is the sequel to the last Godzilla movie that I watched, and I was like, I had high hopes going into it because the other one was so good. I really enjoyed it, or I quite enjoyed it to be more specific. Anyway, but yeah, this was not good at all. Like, no, okay, so only one of the main characters came back from the last one, and she was only in it for like the tiniest bit, and then she went away, and it was, I don't know why. And then like halfway through the movie is when the final battle starts. So literally half of the movie is just a big battle scene. Um, all the Mothra stuff is pretty good. I do like that they brought back the original actor from the original Mothra movie, like 45 years later or something. Um, but yeah, it wasn't good. It was so boring. The effects were better, but that's kind of like the only thing this movie has going for it. It's just the effects are pretty good, are slightly better than the last one. Honestly, had I watched this one on its own, I would have been more fine with it. It's just because I had such high hopes going from the last one because the last one was so good. Um, Really, I think if they would have just combined this with the other movie, um, and just done it as instead of like 3 hours because they're both an hour and a half long, just do it as like a 2 hour thing, like a regular length movie. It could have been really good. Just like combine like the silly main character from this one, and then have the badass chick from the last one, and then have the cool little kid from the last one, and it would have been good. It would have been good. But no, they just, I don't know. They just wanted to see Godzilla and Mechagodzilla fight, and it's stupid and silly and ridiculous. It was alright. It was okay. I was disappointed. And finally, everything beautiful is far away. See what they did there? They've moved away, farther away, because it's away. Get it? Yeah, that's so smart. Yeah. This movie is the premise is basically a guy and a girl and a robot head go on a walk through the desert to try to find some water. The reason I watched this movie is because of her. That's Julia Garner. She's in Ozark. I haven't seen Ozark, but I have seen her in Electric Children, which is really good, and you should watch that one. Electric Children. Electric Children. It's electric spelled funny. That one's about immaculate conception, and it's really interesting. This one isn't. Like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, I bet this is probably going to be one of the sci-fi movies that could have been like 10 or 20 minutes long and would have been perfect. And they just stretched it out to an hour and a half to like fill the runtime. And then I got to the end and I was like, yep, that was exactly it. This movie needed to only be like 10 minutes long. I'd really describe this movie as like a pretentious student film. Sorry, that was an oxymoron. Like a student film. Um, yeah, it's really not good. I was really upset. It was dumb. It was so dumb. Her hair is tiny. I really like her hair in Electric Children. It's really great. It's really curly and stuff. And it's okay in this. It's kind of stretched a little bit, kind of like mine is right now because it's so dangly and wet. But yeah, it's trash. Don't watch it. It's garbage. I hated it. Well, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. She was still pretty. I don't know.